They told me she died in an accident, but I saw the fear in her eyes before the car exploded. She knew something that could destroy the entire syndicate. And now everyone wants me dead for trying to find the truth. Before you dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Mafia Hidden Diary, where every story bleeds truth, betrayal, and revenge. The explosion hit before I even saw the fire. 1 second. I was crossing the street. The next, Isabella's car went up like a burning confession. "Isabella!" I screamed, but my voice was swallowed by the blast. Flames tore through the night, orange against the dark sky. The shockwave knocked me backward, scraping my palms on the pavement. People shouted. Someone called the police, but all I could see was her wedding ring glinting through the fire. "Move back," a voice yelled. The car might blow again. I didn't move. Couldn't. My legs locked as my world burned in front of me. I'd seen men die before, many of them by my own hand, but never her. Not Isabella. When the sirens came, I didn't wait for questions. I walked away before they could stop me. My hands trembled as I pulled out my phone, staring at our last text. She'd sent it 2 hours ago. "Meet me by the cafe. I need to talk." "It's important." I never made it there. By the time I reached the cafe, she was gone. The next message came from an unknown number. She knew too much. I drove straight to Vincent Moretti's mansion. The gates opened before I even stopped. They always did. The guards knew better than to keep me waiting. Vincent sat on his balcony, cigar in hand, calm as ever. "Ethan," he said, exhaling smoke. "Terrible night." I clenched my fists. "You knew." "Knew what?" His tone didn't change. "That my daughter's car exploded? The police think it was an accident." "Cut the act." I stepped closer. "She was scared, Vincent. She told me you were hiding something. Deals, shipments, money that didn't make sense." He smiled faintly. "My daughter had a beautiful imagination." "She also had proof," I snapped. "Maybe that's why she's dead." He leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. "Careful, son. Grief makes a man say foolish things. I'm not your son." Vincent's expression hardened. "Then stop talking like one." "Some things are better buried, Ethan. You dig too deep, you'll find yourself beside her." I wanted to hit him, to break that calm mask. But I didn't, not yet. "Tell me something," I said. "Was Marcus in on it?" Vincent smirked. "Marcus is loyal. Unlike you, he knows his place." That was all I needed to hear. When I left the mansion, the night air felt heavier. The smell of smoke still clung to me, burned into my jacket, my skin, my memory. Marcus Hale, my best friend, my brother in arms. He was the one who introduced me to Isabella in the first place. I called him. He didn't answer. I called again. Straight to voicemail. "Marcus, it's me," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Call me back, now." I hung up, gripping the phone so tight my knuckles cracked. That's when the first flashback hit me, our wedding night. Isabella's hands were shaking as she fastened her necklace. I thought it was nerves, but when she looked at me, her eyes were wet. "Ethan," she whispered, "promise me something. Anything. If something happens to me, don't trust Marcus." I laughed then. I actually laughed. "He's my brother, Bella." Her voice broke. "No, he's not what you think." I should have listened. God, I should have listened. A car horn snapped me back to the present. I was standing in the middle of the street, frozen. My phone buzzed again. A text. Private number. My heart stopped. It was her name. Isabella Moretti. That wasn't possible. Hands shaking, I opened the message. "They know. Don't trust anyone." I read it twice, 3 times. The timestamp said 1 minute ago. My mouth went dry. The fire, the explosion, the ashes. If she was dead, how could she text me? I called back immediately. No answer. Then I tried again. This time a voice picked up. Male, cold, unfamiliar. She shouldn't have talked, Ethan. Who is this? Someone who's doing you a favor. Walk away. The line cut. I stood there, phone pressed to my ear, staring at nothing. My pulse hammered in my skull. The city around me blurred. Headlights, sirens, voices. None of it real anymore. I only knew one thing. Someone killed Isabella because she knew the truth. And whoever that voice belonged to, they were next. Back in my flat, I poured whiskey into a glass, ignoring the blood still drying on my hands. I stared at the reflection in the window. A man I barely recognized. Don't trust anyone, she said. Her voice wouldn't leave my head. Neither would the smell of smoke. I scrolled through her old messages, searching for something, anything. Then I saw it, a draft she never sent. It said, "If you get this, Ethan, I didn't make it. But they'll come for you next. You need to find." The message ended there, cut off. Deleted mid-sentence, I dropped the phone. "Find what?" I whispered. A knock at the door answered me. 3 sharp taps. I froze. No one should have known where I lived. I reached for my gun, every instinct firing awake. Another knock. Louder. "Ethan," a voice called from the other side. "It's Marcus. We need to talk." My finger hovered over the trigger. "Yeah," I muttered to myself, stepping closer to the door. "We really do." I hadn't slept since the explosion. 3 days of whiskey, nightmares, and silence. My flat smelled like smoke and regret. Then I saw it, her jewelry box. It sat on the dresser, untouched since the funeral. I almost didn't open it, but something in me whispered, "Do it." When I lifted the lid, a small ivory envelope slid out. My name was written on it in her handwriting. Ethan. My hands shook as I tore it open. If you're reading this, it means I didn't make it. Don't trust my father. Don't trust Marcus. And if you ever hear the name the Ghost, run. He's the one they all fear. I read it 3 times, my eyes burning. "What the hell were you into, Bella?" I muttered. By noon, I called the only person who ever dared to cross the Morettis publicly. Clara Reed. She picked up after 1 ring. "Ethan Ward," she said, her voice sharp, professional. "Didn't think I'd hear from you again. I found something." A letter from Isabella. Silence. Then, "Meet me. Half an hour. Café Verve." Clara was exactly as I remembered. Confident, eyes like she'd seen too much. A journalist who didn't scare easily. When I slid the letter across the table, she didn't touch it at first. "She told me she was going to disappear," Clara said quietly. "Said she had proof about her father. I begged her to go public. She said she'd rather die than destroy the family." "She might have done both," I said. Clara read the letter, lips tightening. 3 names. Vincent, Marcus, and the Ghost. You know who that is? Never heard of him. But she was terrified of something. Maybe someone outside the syndicate. She leaned in. "If this is what I think it is, we're dealing with international trade. Arms, maybe data. The kind of business that never reaches the headlines," I sighed. "Then we need proof." Clara nodded. "I know someone who can help. Riley Knox, ex-government hacker." "You'll like him." I don't like anyone these days. Riley lived above a boxing gym. The room reeked of coffee, sweat, and wires. Screens everywhere, codes running faster than my heartbeat. "You're the grieving husband," Riley said, not looking up. "Tough week?" "Something like that," I muttered. Clara handed him a small flash drive I'd found inside Isabella's old purse. "Can you open this?" Riley grinned. "Depends. You want it done legally or fast?" "Fast," I said. He inserted the drive. Lines of code filled the screen. Then folders appeared, encrypted images, transaction logs, emails. Riley whistled. "Your wife was digging deep. Arms shipments routed through shell companies. Dates, names, payments. One stands out. Vincent Moretti. Looks like he's been selling to people the government won't even admit exist." I leaned closer. "You're sure?" "Positive. But there's something else." Someone tagged all her files. "The name matches your letter. The Ghost." Clara frowned. "So he's real." Riley's hands moved faster on the keyboard. "Yeah, but whoever he is, he's watching everything." "I'm tracing the IP now." The screen flickered, then froze. "What's happening?" I asked. Riley's smirk vanished. "Someone's inside my system." "That's impossible. I'm firewalled." Every monitor turned black. Then a single message appeared in white text. "Stop digging, Ethan, or you're next." For a second, none of us breathed. Riley cursed under his breath and yanked the power cable. "They found me in under 2 minutes. Whoever this is, he's not just good. He's connected." Clara stood. "We need to get out, now." I stared at the screen, my name glowing in the dark. "They know I'm still looking." Outside, the city buzzed like nothing happened. People walked, laughed, lived, unaware that death had just brushed past me again. Clara grabbed my arm. "Ethan, we can't go back to your flat." "They'll track you." "Then where?" "I've got a safe house outside Bristol." "We'll regroup, see what's left of those files." I nodded, though my mind was miles away. Back to Isabella's trembling hands. The fear in her voice. "She tried to warn me," I said softly. Clara's voice softened. "She loved you. Enough to risk everything. I should have protected her. You couldn't have known." I looked at her. No, Clara, I did know. I just didn't want to believe it. We reached her car. The moment I opened the passenger door, my phone buzzed. Unknown number again, I answered. Who is this? A whisper. You were told to stop. Where's Isabella? I demanded. Is she alive? A pause. Then, you're asking the wrong questions. The line went dead. I threw the phone onto the seat, breathing hard. They're watching every move. Clara started the car. Then we make the next one count. By midnight, we reached the safe house. An old farmhouse with no cameras, no neighbors, just silence. Riley was already there, setting up a new laptop from a sealed case. I salvaged part of her data, he said. Encrypted audio logs. One's labeled truth, but the file's locked. Can you open it? I asked, eventually. But I need time. Then take it, I said. Because that file might be the reason she's dead. Clara watched me quietly. Ethan, if we keep digging, there's no turning back. I met her eyes. There wasn't any turning back the moment that car exploded. Riley glanced between us. You really think Isabella was onto something that big? I stared out the window, the night stretching endless beyond the glass. She always said truth costs more than life. He typed faster. Then let's see what she died for. The laptop beeped. The file started to open, and then froze again. Words appeared across the screen. You were warned. The lights flickered once. Then the power went out. I whispered into the dark. Bella. What the hell did you get us into? I didn't sleep at all. The message from the hacker, you were warned, replayed in my mind until dawn. By sunrise, I knew what I had to do. Marcus Hale, my best friend, my brother in blood. If anyone knew how deep Vincent's secrets went, it was him. I drove straight to his mansion on the hill. Polished gates, expensive cars, guards pretending not to stare. Marcus had done well for himself. Too well. When he opened the door, his smile was fake enough to hurt. Ethan, Jesus, man, you look like hell. I've had better weeks, I said, pushing past him. We need to talk. He shut the door slowly. About what? You already know. He sighed, running a hand through his perfect hair. If this is about Isabella, I'm sorry, but you can't keep blaming— Don't, I snapped. Don't say her name like you cared. He looked wounded. You think I didn't care? She was family. Then why does your bank account say otherwise? I tossed a folder onto the table. Clara's research, stolen transactions, money transfers under his name. You've been taking payments from Vincent's shell companies for months. Marcus stared at the papers, then at me. You're reaching, brother. Am I? I took a step closer. She told me not to trust you. Said you'd changed. His jaw tightened. You think I had something to do with her death? I think you know who did. He laughed once, sharp and cold. You're chasing ghosts, Ethan. You always were the emotional one. Answer me. I slammed my hand against the wall. Was it you? Did you set her up? His silence said enough. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The tension was suffocating. I whispered, We took bullets for each other once. Now I don't even know who you are. Marcus looked away. You still could have been part of this. Vincent offered you a seat at the table, but you chose love over power. That's not how this world works. So you killed her to prove it? His eyes snapped back to mine. I didn't touch her, he shouted. But she made choices, Ethan, dangerous ones. You can't save someone who doesn't want saving. My throat burned. You sound just like Vincent. He exhaled, shoulders slumping. You should leave before I forget we were friends. Too late, I said quietly. As I walked out, the sun caught something shiny on his desk. An expensive watch. Custom gold band. My stomach dropped. I'd seen that watch before, 3 nights ago, near Isabella's wreck. The paramedics pulled one from the debris, broken clasp, blood on the edges. I thought it was hers, but it wasn't. It was Marcus's. I didn't say a word. I just stared at it until he noticed. Something wrong? He asked. I forced a smile. No, nothing at all. Then I walked out, heart pounding, vision burning red. Halfway down the road, the first bullet hit my rearview mirror. Shit. I ducked, swerving hard as the back window shattered. A black SUV was behind me. Tinted windows, no plates. They fired again. I floored the accelerator, cutting through traffic. The city blurred around me. One more shot, and the tire blew. My car spun, slammed into a guardrail. Pain shot through my ribs. I crawled out, half blind, half mad. The SUV door opened. A man stepped out with a silencer. Ethan Ward, he said calmly. You should have listened. I reached for my gun. Too slow. Then another gunshot cracked the air. The man dropped. Clara stood behind him, breathing hard, pistol steady. "Nice timing," I gasped. "You really need to stop getting shot at," she said, running to me. I laughed weakly. "Working on it." She helped me into her car, hands shaking. "You okay?" "Ribs," I muttered. "And my trust issues. Let's get you patched up." At the safe house, she cleaned the blood from my shoulder. It wasn't bad, just deep enough to remind me I was still alive. She didn't talk at first. Just silence, broken by the sound of water and my uneven breathing. Finally, she said, "Who sent them?" "Marcus," I said. "Had to be. He's tied to Vincent, maybe even the ghost." Did he admit anything? Not with words. But he didn't have to. Clara frowned. "We'll need proof." I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. The screen showed the photo I took, Marcus's watch gleaming on that desk. "This is proof enough." She stared at it. "That's the same model they found at the explosion site." "Exactly. My best friend was there that night." I slumped back in the chair. The room felt smaller. "Clara," I said quietly, "how do you keep going when everyone you trust turns on you?" She looked up. "You don't. You just stop trusting anyone." I laughed bitterly. "Guess I'm halfway there." She met my eyes. "Ethan, we can still stop this. But you need to decide. Revenge or truth?" I thought of Isabella's letter. "Don't trust Marcus. Both," I said finally. "I'll find the truth. Then I'll make them pay for it." Clara smiled faintly. "Now you sound like the man they should be afraid of." That night I stood outside staring at the stars, too calm, too distant. My hand brushed the wound on my side. Pain reminded me I was still fighting. I pulled out Isabella's locket from my pocket, the one I found weeks ago. The photo inside was cracked, but her smile hadn't faded. "I know now, Bella," I whispered. "You were right about him." My phone buzzed. A new message. "No number. You're closer than you think. But the next move is mine." The screen went black. I exhaled slowly, gripping the locket. "Then come find me," because I wasn't running anymore. Riley looked like hell when I found him. Eyes bloodshot, fingers twitching over his keyboard. "I thought you were done," I said. "I don't quit when someone threatens me," he muttered. "They tried wiping everything, but I pulled fragments from the backup sector." "Fragments of what?" He smirked faintly. "Your ghost." I leaned closer. "You found him?" Riley's screen flickered. A blurred photo, a file name, A. Cole. "Adrian Cole," he said. "Vincent's underboss. No record, no digital trail. But he exists." I stared at the face. Cold eyes, controlled expression. "Where?" "An abandoned distillery at the docks. Midnight. He's expecting you." "Expecting me?" Riley nodded. He reached out after I traced his network. "Said he owes you the truth." "Whatever that means." Clara crossed her arms. "Sounds like a setup." I looked at her. "Everything in my life is a setup." At midnight, fog rolled across the docks like smoke from a dying fire. I found Adrian Cole waiting, tailored coat, calm as ice. He smiled faintly. "Ethan Ward. I wondered how long it would take." "You're the ghost," I said. "I used to be. Now I'm just a man cleaning up old sins." "You sold Isabella out." His smile faltered. "She came to me for protection. I gave her safety. Until Vincent found out. You let him kill her." He met my eyes. "You think I wanted that?" "I think you didn't stop it." He looked down, voice low. "You're right. I didn't. I warned her to run. She said she wouldn't leave without proof." "Proof of what?" "Vincent's deals. Weapons, money laundering, contracts overseas. She had files that could destroy him. She trusted me with them. And you betrayed her." "I kept one thing," he said quietly, pulling a small USB drive from his pocket. Her final message. "I couldn't watch it. Guilt doesn't need evidence." I took the drive slowly. "Why give this to me now?" "Because you're the last person who still believes in truth." I laughed bitterly. "Truth's overrated." He looked at me with tired eyes. "Then why are you still alive?" Back at Clara's office, the air was thick with static and guilt. Riley decrypted the USB, his hands trembling. "You ready?" he asked. I wasn't, but I nodded anyway. The video opened with Isabella's face, pale, scared, but defiant. Her eyes looked straight into mine. "If you're hearing this," she whispered, "they finally got me." My breath caught. Clara turned away, pretending not to watch. "Ethan, please don't become one of them. Promise me you'll fight for what's right, not for revenge. Promise me you won't let them win." Her voice broke on the last word. The screen went black. No one spoke for a long time. Finally, Riley said softly, "What do we do now?" I stood. "We burn them all." Clara frowned. "You mean expose them?" I looked at Isabella's frozen image on the screen. "Both." The next 48 hours blurred together. Clara helped me compile everything. Vincent's offshore accounts, government bribes, illegal arms transfers. Every file Isabella died for, Riley set up the drop. Once I hit upload, the world sees everything. "No going back. Do it," I said. Clara's voice was steady. "Are you sure?" "Vincent will come after us." "He already has." Riley pressed the key. The files streamed online, spreading like wildfire. Headlines appeared within hours. Business tycoon linked to global arms scandal. I watched the chaos unfold on the screens. Vincent's empire collapsing in real time. Clara smiled faintly. "You did it." "No," I said. "She did." By dawn, the city was buzzing. Politicians panicking, news vans everywhere, Vincent's assets frozen. I should have felt victory. Instead, all I felt was the hollow echo of her voice. "Don't become one of them." Clara handed me coffee. "You okay?" "Define okay," she half smiled. "Alive?" "For now." Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it, confusion then fear. "What is it?" I asked. She frowned. "Private number. Just one sentence. You should have stayed out of it, Clara." My stomach turned cold. He knows. Before I could react, the office lights flickered. Windows shattered. Smoke filled the room. "Get down," I shouted. We dove behind the desk as the explosion rocked the building. Riley screamed from across the room, clutching his arm. Clara coughed through the dust. "He found us! Move!" I dragged her toward the back exit. Sirens wailed outside, people shouting. We stumbled into the alley, hearts pounding. I looked around, smoke, fire, chaos. "Riley?" I shouted. No answer. Just static from his comm. Clara grabbed my arm. "Ethan, we have to go." I hesitated. "He's still inside." She pulled harder. "He's gone." The words hit like a bullet. I followed her, barely breathing. Hours later, we hid in an old train depot outside the city. My body ached, mind racing. Clara sat across from me, silent, her face smeared with ash. Finally, she said, "You know he'll come for us now." "I'm counting on it." She met my eyes. "Ethan, don't. Isabella wanted justice, not blood." She wanted the truth. "And you gave it to the world," she said. "Don't lose yourself now." I looked at her, tired, loyal, fearless. "Clara, if he touches you, I swear—" She cut me off. "You'll what?" "Become him." I had no answer. She sighed, brushing her hair back. "Promise me you won't do something stupid." Before I could reply, her phone buzzed again. She glanced down. Her face went pale. "What is it?" I asked. She whispered, "It's a live video feed." I leaned over her shoulder. The screen showed Vincent, calm, composed, standing in some dark warehouse. Behind him, Clara, tied to a chair. Eyes wide, gagged, Vincent smiled into the camera. "Hello, Ethan. Let's finish this." The feed cut to black. My pulse roared in my ears. He had her, and now it was my turn. The night air bit through my coat as I reached Vincent's countryside estate. Every light was on, like the house itself was waiting for me. I could almost hear Isabella's voice whispering in my head, "Don't become one of them." I gripped the gun tighter. "Too late for that," I muttered. The door opened before I touched it. Marcus stepped out. Same smug look, same perfect suit, but his eyes, they were tired. "Ethan," he said softly, "you shouldn't have come." "I didn't come to talk," he sighed. "You always were the stubborn one, and you were always the coward." His jaw tightened. "You think you know everything, don't you? You think it's that simple. Me bad, you good. You helped kill her, Marcus." He flinched. "I didn't want her dead. You were at the explosion site. Your watch was there." He looked away. "Vincent made me choose. Him or her. You don't understand what it's like." "I understand betrayal." He laughed bitterly. "You think I wanted this life? You think I wanted to serve men like him? We all make choices, Ethan. You chose love. I chose survival. You chose blood money." He shook his head slowly. "You're not here for revenge. You're here for forgiveness. You just don't know it yet. I'm here for justice." He reached inside his jacket, and instinct took over. I drew my gun, aiming for his chest. "Don't," I warned. He froze, then smiled. "You won't shoot me. Try me." He took a step forward. "Do it. You think you're any better than Vincent? Pull the trigger and prove you're one of us." I hesitated, just long enough for him to draw. The flash came first, then the pain. His bullet grazed my arm. Mine hit him square in the chest. He stumbled back, eyes wide, hand pressed against the wound. Isabella, she was right about you. I caught him before he fell. Blood soaked my sleeve. What did she tell you? I asked. He coughed, struggling to speak. That you'd never stop loving her. His eyes dimmed. Silence. For a long moment, I just stared at him, the man who used to be my brother. Then I let him go. The mansion's hall was filled with echoes, boots, shouts, the low hum of police radios. Through the glass doors, flashing red and blue lights painted the marble floors. I stepped into the grand hall. Vincent stood at the balcony, calm as ever, 2 officers behind him. He smiled when he saw me. You finally made it. Drop the act, Vincent. It's over. Over? He chuckled. Nothing's ever over, Ethan. You think leaking a few files changes the world? You just changed the players. The officers shoved him toward the stairs. Vincent Moretti, you're under arrest for... He cut them off. Save it, boys. Let me talk to my son for a second. I'm not your son. He tilted his head, smirking. In spirit you are. You killed for love. Just like me. Don't compare yourself to me. He leaned closer as the officers pulled him away. We all pay the price for love, Ethan. Some with blood, others with their souls. His laugh followed me as they dragged him outside. By the time the sun rose, the estate was crawling with cops and reporters. Clara found me standing by the gate, arm bandaged, staring at the ruins of my past. You okay? She asked softly. No, she nodded. I didn't think so. Marcus is dead. I know. I didn't want to kill him. She looked at me. No judgment, just truth. Sometimes justice looks like mercy. Sometimes it doesn't. I turned toward the sunrise. Did the broadcast go through? She smiled faintly. Every second. The whole world saw Vincent's confession. You did it. No, I said quietly. Isabella did. Hours later I stood at her grave. The wind carried the scent of earth and rain, the kind that smelled clean, like a world trying to wash itself of sin. I knelt, brushing leaves off the tombstone, Isabella Moretti Ward. She knew too much, but loved even more. I took her silver locket from my pocket, the one she always wore, and placed it beside her name. You knew too much, I whispered. But you were never wrong. The silence pressed against me, heavy but peaceful. I could almost hear her laugh in the wind, soft and distant. I kept my promise, I said. I didn't become one of them. My phone buzzed. I frowned, an unknown number. I almost ignored it, until I saw the sender name, Isabella. My heart stopped, a single audio file attached. I played it before I could think, her voice, calm, steady, alive. If you're hearing this, I made it out. I had to disappear, Ethan. Vincent never knew about the second recording. Don't look for me, live! The file ended. Silence again. I sank to my knees. You're alive, I whispered. You're alive. Behind me, distant sirens wailed. Police cars leaving the estate. Reporters shouting my name. But I didn't move. For the first time in months, I felt something like peace. Sharp, fragile, and real. I stood, brushing dirt from my hands. You got your justice, Isabella. Maybe now I can start living. As I walked away, the locket caught the sunlight, flashing once like a heartbeat. A final goodbye from the woman who knew too much and paid the price for love.